Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick, and I'm here with the Sheriff of Calhoun County, Matthew Wade, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Sheriff.
It's always good to be on the show, John. I tell you, a couple of weeks ago we had some conversation about maybe the show not being able to make it much more for financial reasons. Well, TV 24 has come up with some solutions and some ideas, and they're going to be able to fund this show without any cost to the sheriff's office. So good news for you, those of you who like our show. I guess it's bad news if you was wanting us to go away, but it seems like we'll stick around for a little bit longer and be able to maybe get some more bad guys in jail and maybe make fun of ourselves a little bit in the process and have some laughs. But we really do appreciate you watching. It's our way of being able to reach out to the community in one of our many ways that we do it. But once again, I say it every week, we can't do it by ourselves. We're just a piece of the puzzle. Everybody's responsible for having a good community, and it takes everybody's willingness to help us for it to be a great community.
And let's see how well they helped. Let's take a look at the count.
3 arrests this week brings our count up to 5,003 people arrested since this show began, which has probably been around 15, 16 years. So thank you for the help, and thank you for what you do.
And thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with a really important guest here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Austin Lewis. Mr. Lewis, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for failure to appear for possession of a controlled substance and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Tiffany Bovard. Miss Bovard, last known to be living in Jacksonville. She's wanted for a failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And meet Daniel Clark. Mr. Clark, last known to be living in Wellington. He's wanted for failure to appear for receiving stolen property second and possession of a forged instrument first. And this is Melissa Thompson. Miss Thompson, last known to be living in Piedmont. She's wanted for failure to appear on illegal possession of a credit or debit card. And meet Lawrence Minifield. Mr. Minifield, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for a failure to appear on robbery first. This is Benjamin Anderson. Mr. Anderson, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for a probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And meet David Jarrell. Mr. Jarrell, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup that you might know where they are. And if you do, call the sheriff's office. You call, they haul. Sheriff, we're here with Chris Abernathy. Not that Chris Abernathy. We know you're thinking, but Chris Abernathy.
Chris Abernathy, most people know him as Chris Wright, but his real name is Chris Abernathy.
That's right.
So, but this is Chris Abernathy, but we call him CJ.
That's right.
Sir.
This is CJ from ASAP.
That's right.
We had a little letters there. So, CJ, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in ASAP.
Okay, well, I'm CJ Abernathy. I'm from Jacksonville, Alabama. I went to Jacksonville High School, finished Jacksonville High School in 2015, where I moved on to Jacksonville State University with a biology major. I finished Jacksonville State University in 2021, but kind of in my last couple years up at JSU, I started to have a passion for mental health. And so when I got out of college and I was looking for a job, I started using my networking opportunities, and I ended up at ASAP, and it actually ended up meeting my niche.
Good old Sayram. He likes to get people right out of college, and he's got a great program there.
Yes,
so what do you do at ASAP?
I'm a prevention specialist, so that varies depending on who you are. But for me specifically, I'm mostly in the schools with kids running our Mendez Too Good for Drugs program and our Y-Try curriculum.
Okay, so you're doing Y-Try in the... You're in all the county schools or just all the schools?
Almost as many county schools as you can name, yes, sir.
Okay. So what age levels is that?
That would be middle school and all the way up to maybe the youngest of the high school children.
Okay. Now, our SROs are familiar with Y-Try, aren't they?
They are, and one thing that I always told my children, that stuff doesn't make you a better person. There's nobody that's ever done that where they said, well, if I hadn't have done drugs, I wouldn't be who I am today. Now, there's times where they say, I did drugs, and that made me who I am today, but normally it's never in a good light. Right. So I've always told my kids, if you never try it, you don't have to ever worry about stopping it.
Right.
So I think that's where we need to be focusing on is people that are on substances. It's hard to get them off. If we can keep somebody from ever trying it.
Yes, sir.
Now, Why Try is a little bit different take on the prevention program. Tell us a little bit about Why Try.
Okay, so with our Why Tries, we mostly work with kids who might need a little bit more special and personalized attention. We try to teach them life skills such as goal setting, emotional management, and self-esteem upkeep.
It's good stuff.
I need all those now.
Yeah.
You will always need those.
It's
right.
how to adult, right?
Yes, sir.
How to adult. Now, that's been around for a while. Family Links did Why Try for a little while. And there's a push to do that, to train some of the teachers in that. Have you been involved in any of that?
I have not.
I know there was a discussion at some point to let the teachers be familiar with Why Try because of the emotional awareness that the kids are getting in that program, that the teachers can use that in the classroom too a little bit. But who knows? Who knows? So you're here to talk about something other than Why Try and all that other stuff at ASAP. What do you got going on?
Well, yes, sir. I'm here to talk about our upcoming Gift of Flight event. It will be taking place on Saturday, June 4th at 10 a.m. at the Anniston Regional Airport. We're partnering with the Anniston Fatherhood Initiative, the Brock Foundation, and the City of Anniston to bring these kids and these children an exciting and hopefully inspiring experience. We want to get them out of their comfort zone, get them out here to meet these pilots who want to give back to the community, maybe hear some of their stories, meet up with them, fellowship, and then after that, take them up into the sky where they can fly around the city of Anniston. So yes, sir, we're really excited
When I was growing
about
up,
that.
I always wanted to be a pilot. That was what I wanted to be my whole entire life. And that's a really wonderful opportunity for somebody to take that kind of, it's most people flying is a big deal. They don't get that opportunity often, so that's really neat.
Yeah, I'm a pilot. The sheriff has piloted a few things.
I have, not successfully, but I have.
Yeah, the only man I know who's been in 3.
Nope, two.
Two, and an emergency landing.
Yep.
He successfully did an emergency landing.
That's right.
And then had two
Yeah,
crashes.
you don't want me to be the pilot for your thing.
Yeah.
They worked out pretty well from what I can see.
It worked
Yes,
out
sir.
pretty well, but we'll stick to law enforcement. A little more successful than that.
Stay out of
Yes,
the
sir.
air. But
That's right.
I'm a pilot. I got my pilot's license a few years ago. I haven't flown in many, many years. So that's really good. That, using the Anniston Airport, it's a great little general aviation airport. And of course, the city has revamped their airport board, made it more of a regional board. You've been involved in that at all,
Nope,
Sheriff?
nope.
They've done a regional board, and they got the FAA to forgive some fines. So we can hopefully see some more activity down there at the airport. And this is a good one. Do you know where the pilots are coming from that are donating their time?
Yes, they're coming from the Brock Foundation. That's who we're partnering with, and they'll just be bringing them. We have some that have grown up and want to share their stories and share what inspired them to become pilots. So, yes, sir.
That's very good. We used to have a Civil Air Patrol squadron here at Anniston, and it moved to Pell City years and years ago. But they're involved in a lot of that stuff. So that's exciting. Will you be there on the tarmac?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to fly?
I do not know yet if I am going to fly. But one thing I did want to mention, though, is that unlike last year's event, we are opening up our applications this time to young girls. So if young girls in the area are interested, they can come and join too. So that makes any child aged 8 through 18 able to get an application, and upon completion and submission of that application, they should be able to come out there and have fun with this.
Outstanding. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk more about getting you up in the air after this. So stay with us. We've got the second half of the lineup coming up here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Manda Sims. Miss Sims, last known to be living in Birmingham. She's wanted for failure to appear on breaking and entering of a vehicle. And meet Cornell Whitman. Mr. Whitman, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on unlawful distribution of a controlled substance. And this is Gregory Palmer. Mr. Palmer, last known to be living in Heflin. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And take a look at Erica Odell. Miss Odell, last known to be living in Leeds. She's wanted for breaking and entering of a vehicle. This is Chester Coleman. Mr. Coleman, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for violation of the Sex Offender Registration Notification Act and failure to appear on burglary, third. And take a look at Timothy Bussey. Mr. Bussey, last known to be living in Gadsden, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup where you might know where they are, because we need to know. Sheriff will go get them. It'll be good. Sheriff, we're talking about your favorite pastime, flying.
Flying. There's people that know that I have been in 2 consecutive accidents in aircraft, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from going. And I walked away from both. The first one was a powered parachute right outside the Anniston Airport. Motor, I was about 350 feet in the air. It falls at 600 feet per minute. Motor quit, and we were just talking off air. I give talks to churches, and what do you think? What do you think I did when the motor quit?
Yeah, what did you do?
People say, well, I bet you started praying. I said, no, I tried to crank that thing back up, unsuccessfully, but I was able to land it, and it's really a safe thing. I just had just an incident that shouldn't have happened. So.
Yeah, and the other one was landing up in Guntersville. You ended up in the lake.
Ended up in the lake.
Yeah, sent me a picture standing on top of a sunken airplane because I didn't believe you.
Yeah. Well, no, we shouldn't be talking about
but
this.
Chris, CJ, have you ever flown?
I actually have. I flew once when I was a baby, and I was just told about that the whole time. But
you don't
really remember that. And then when I was 18 and I graduated high school, I believe it was that summer, we went to California to see some of my family out there, and I loved it. I took pictures, posted it on Instagram.
So you flew in a big air, you flew in a commercial air, but you haven't flown in a small plane.
Not in a small plane. That's different.
Oh, it's very different.
You're going
it's
to
real
June
flying.
the 4th, right?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you're going to get to fly.
Yeah.
You need to get up there and fly around, and it's important. And I think it's a great opportunity for kids.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you're including girls in that. Civil Air Patrol has a great program that's for both boys and girls, the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. And they can actually earn their pilot's license by the time they're 16 working with Civil Air Patrol.
Wow.
And a lot of the people I know, I was in CAP, a lot of people I know have gone on to become either military pilots or commercial pilots, a lot of these kids.
And pilots make super good money. And if there's, especially if you have some place like the Civil Air Patrol, which is in Pell City, you said, where these kids, if they come out on June the 4th and think they really like it, there's an avenue for these kids to become pilots where it might not even cost them a dime, where later in life they could make 6 figures doing a career they get to see the world and make good money, and somebody pays for their education and all of it. I'd call that a win all the way around.
Yeah. And it gives you a change in perspective, seeing the world from a small aircraft, taking a look at Anniston like they're going to from about 3,000 feet. That's good stuff.
It is.
That's good stuff. So tell us a little bit more about how ASAP got involved in this.
Well, we got involved with this just trying to really step outside of the box. We're always trying to come up with new ways to basically just expand people's minds. A lot of people just live in a closed-off environment sometimes. They don't really get to see the world like how y'all were saying. So we just wanted to provide something else for the children and the youth in the community, and that's how we came up with this.
I think it's a home run in that aspect, outside the box. It's really a great idea, and wouldn't it be such a great and wonderful thing that somebody comes out on June the 4th and 10 years from later they're making $150,000, $200,000 a year being a pilot somewhere, and you were the difference maker.
Yes, sir.
I mean, those are the kind of things that we look for in life, or I look for in life, is how can you be a difference maker, and that's definitely what you're doing. So.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, it's going to be a great program, and so tell us again when it is and how people get to be on the list to go.
Yes, sir. This is the big part. So it's going to be Saturday, June 4th at 10 a.m. at the Anniston Regional Airport. You can get an application by contacting Mr. DeMarco Truss. You can do that through email at dtruss16@gmail.com, or you can call him at 256-375-4404. I'll repeat those again. Email dtruss16@gmail.com, or call him at 256-375-4404. And all applications are due Friday, May 20th at noon.
And can they get that information from the website for ASAP as well?
Yes, sir.
What is that website?
The website will be ASAPREV. It's like ASAP Prevention, but ASAPREV.com.
Excellent. And what's the criteria for people to be part of this?
Just a child age 8 through 18.
8 through 18. Is there a cap on how many kids can participate?
I don't think so.
So any child age 8 through 18 from anywhere around? I mean, just anywhere in our...
As long as you submit the application, you have to fill out a couple questions, talk about what your interests are, where you're from, and who you are, and then we'll review your application, and we should be able to get you up in the air.
That's awesome. And it'll be all day down there on what'd you say, June 4th, right?
Yes, sir.
Starting at what time?
At 10 a.m.
10 a.m. at the Anniston Regional Airport, which is right off of Highway 21 in Oxford, just south of I-20. Easy to get to. Beautiful little airport. Big runway.
Yes,
Absolutely.
103 feet by, 700, how many feet is it?
It can land about anything.
7,003 feet, 120 feet or so, 110 feet or so across. Yeah, so anything can land there, and anything does land there.
That is true.
Including the sheriff, sometimes near there.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, CJ, it's great to have you on the show.
Yes,
it was
sir.
great to meet you. You know, Sayram sends us all his new guys to come to the show. So remember, June 4th, coming up, and you got till May 20th is it May 20th?
Yes, sir.
May 20th, get your application in to be part of the gift of flight at the Anniston Regional Airport, brought to you by ASAP. Thank you for being on the show, CJ. We'll be back with the Crime Stoppers portion of the show and a crazy criminal here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to help us on the next couple of cases. On April 28th, 2 steel blowers were taken off of a lawn truck near 1100 Martin Luther King Drive in Hobson City. And on April 25th, 2 unknown black males attempted to break into a home on Jesse Woodrow Drive in Piedmont. They were last seen leaving in a white Jeep Cherokee. And that's it for the Crime Stoppers cases. If you have any information on these cases, please call Crime Stoppers. That number 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Sheriff, you know what time it is?
It's crazy, Crim.
It's crazy criminal time!
You know, I have found that it's never a good time to get caught, but there are worse times to be caught.
Yeah?
So I can get our picture up from Connecticut. Young man here was at the barber shop, and he was getting his hair braided when something happened in the barber shop, and he took the barber scissors and stabbed a man.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and so I'm not really sure what happened, what kind of disagreement it was, but after he stabbed him, he took off running. So he got a half mug shot.
Huh.
His hair's half done and half not done. So like I said, if you're going to do something, you know, it's never good to get caught, but there are worse times to be caught. You know, I'm sure that he had preferred that his hair had been totally braided or totally unbraided, but that's his mug shot from the stabbing where he got mad in a barber shop. So
In Connecticut.
in Connecticut.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, that advocate for number 2 blade in the jail as you get booked in.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not really sure what he would do with that. I'm not sure if people in jail could finish his hair for him, or you know, what would you do with that? That looks pretty complicated to me, so I'm not sure what happens. But he got half mugged, and you know, don't stab somebody till your hair's done.
Yeah, really. If you need to have an altercation with somebody who's working on you, you really ought to wait till they're
Well, you
done.
know,
It's just-
at least he's a man, because men can handle it more. You know, if a woman had that happen and her hair was half done, it would be more of a travesty, because a man can handle it better. So I think.
I'd be concerned if a woman was getting her hair styled and she grabbed the scissors and stabbed the style.
I'm sure it's probably happened.
I'm
It's
sure
probably
it has
happened.
too.
Yeah, don't make a mistake.
Well, even being a barber can be a dangerous thing.
Nothing like a mad woman.
Nothing like a mad woman.
Nothing like a mad woman.
All right, so we appreciate you guys tuning into the show this week, and we hope to see you again next week, but not in the lineup, here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.